Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Genesis Mindset. In this episode, we're going to be looking again at those opportunities that I was pointing out in the Atropa ecosystem the other day. And more importantly, what is going on with Teddy Bear? Is Teddy Bear about to explode? Is the number one premier meme coin on Pulse Chain about to explode? Oh, controversy number one. Look, I don't even care if it doesn't get number one. It's such a controversial topic. It's hilarious. So these are the kind of wars that humans have inside of their false human minds. But in any case, let's get into it. So what is going on with Teddy Bear? So Hex equals MC squared. So my boy Chris has been pointing out continuously the volume. So he has on his Twitter continuously taught me about volume and how the big players actually hide their buys and hide what they're doing inside of these massive volume spikes. And this is something extremely interesting. So, okay, first of all, what he was pointing out is he's still very content on where Teddy Bear is because, as you can see, the volume has really lifted. So this was when the Moon King, went on to Rand Nuna's crypto banter, and we had these two massive. I mean, look at this, man. It's this. Just energetically speaking, by the way, look at how this goes up exponentially. This is the curve of humans and the market psychology. This is exactly what happens in market psychology. If I could take a segment of any chart and say this summarizes everything I need to know about markets, it would be this section right here, right here. So can I bring that down just a little bit? There we go. As you can see, there's nothing going down. Smart money is buying in here. Then the exponent, the early people who were like, oh yes, Teddy Bear, how do I get Teddy Bear? And they start getting into it. Then you get these other people who want that evidence first. Then they start to get in on this candle, and then you got these other big whoppers of volume. So this is like the late comers. So this really just, I mean, it emphasizes, it just says everything about market psychology there is to know. And then, of course, you hit a top, and then there's a sell-off. And this is a very key top, so I'm not surprised that there was a sell-off there whatsoever. So really, that's incredible just to see that. I actually never noticed that. But what we did see was an increase in volume. And since then, the volume has stayed up compared to over here. So the volume has stayed up. The Telegram is on fire. The community's on fire. The meme scene has lifted, but we don't have honestly, we don't have, Teddy Bear doesn't have the quality of meme culture that the Tang Gang has. They are the elite. Well, certainly some of them are elite in their meme culture. Some of them are just not very good memes. Some of them are extraordinarily funny memes. So they totally dominate the meme scene, and this is something that I think really probably every community in the Atropa ecosystem is lacking a little bit. And I'm not criticizing. I'm just objectively saying how I feel about it. I think we produce the AI arts, and this is probably not considered really as a meme as such. So it doesn't have those connection points that a meme has. So I think we can still do a lot better in the meme scene with the Atropa ecosystem, but nevertheless, it's still extremely positive on many metrics. And we still have the Moon King and Ian talking about it. They were talking about it on Crypto Kings today. But the increase in volume, and this is what I wanted to show here. So big volume candle here, and look at this one. Look at the volume on this candle here. So I'm just going to highlight these. So what is going on here? So thank you, Chris, for pointing these out. So this one here, tiny little candles, but huge amounts of volume, like enormous amounts of volume. So this is really interesting. Very interesting. Was there a lot of selling here and a lot of buying? What was actually going on in this? I don't really know. I can only speculate that something big is about to happen with Teddy Bear based on the volume and the tiny little PP, tiny little PP size of these candles. They're nothing. They're so small. So it's a very curious thing. Obviously these candles here are a lot bigger with the volume, and it was largely buying volume, whereas here, tiny little candles. So there's a lot of buying, selling. I'm not too sure. Does providing liquidity create volume? I'm not too sure. So very tiny little candles, but huge volume. So really almost above the average line for the volume for this particular section of volume. So very interesting. What's going to happen in Teddy? Are we going to have a breakout? Is it ramping up for a breakout? Who knows? BFF. So who actually? I mean, look at this. There was such a quick 2x, and then a massive dump, bros. BFFs, bestie freedom fighters. We want to get here, and we want to start. I mean, if you want to buy this area, I mean, we've hit this twice now, and I don't know if there's some little pattern, double trouble, bubble, wobble, whatever pattern of something that says, oh, it's going to come here and break out. I don't know. Anyone who knows the TA and the bubble patterns or whatever it is, please feel free to mention it in the comments. For me, all I see is the inevitability of us reaching this 8,000 mark, the inevitability of that, then this forming a new buy zone. So obviously at the moment, people are still excited. Some people have been, I mean, people have been accumulating. Oh man, people have been accumulating this for a while. Where's my noob pleb fading it? Fading BFF. I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to look at it. Oh, I don't even want to look at it now. So this is me being a little noob pleb fading BFF down here going, nah, it's just had a big spike. It's not going to go any further. It did. It's like 100x. Oh man, Papa, take me home. That would have been my trading. That would have been my trading for the year. Done. I've got my 100x. I can just chill out for the year. Don't need to look at these bloody charts. But I faded the bestie freedom fighters, and it was even on a low. It was even probably all the way down here because I looked at the little drop and I was like, what was the drop from the top? Nah, I wouldn't have been there. That's a 70% drop. Surely I would have picked it up after a 70% drop. But it was a decent drop, 50% drop. But after this God candle, I thought, nah, she's done. She's going to chill out for a while. But okay, let's not look at that anymore. So that's over 100x. But anyway, I think I accumulated here. So I'm still sitting pretty, and I'm still grateful. So I've got a 15x. I've got just over one BFF. I would have liked to obviously have gotten more here, and I could have sold the one BFF here a while ago. There was talk that let's get to the 8K and don't sell much. So just sell one when you're up here. So that was the talk of the town. So obviously at the minute, I think people are really all these people who have been sitting on these opportunities and waiting for to sell at this price are really quickly hitting the sell. So that's why I mean, it's a symptom of the greed, right? And well, not greed necessarily. I mean, yeah, it is greed, but people want to take their profits and cycle it out. There's nothing wrong with that. I just hope people have that consciousness that, hey, just chill out because we are going to make this our new low. Once we get here, we're going to strengthen this up with some liquidity pools. So again, we had a huge spike down here, down to the 4K mark. So again, all I see is, well, at the minute, it's not a 4X. It's not a 2X. It's a plus 60%. So I still see big opportunity here. And to see that it's gone here, tested it multiple times, it is eventually going to get here. So if you're into BFF, I would, yeah, not financial advice, but accumulating would be very interesting to do. So let's have a look at this Impulse Chain. Really just more or less tells the same story. And as a matter of fact, let's look at Teddy Bear Impulse Chain as well, just in case it did tell a different story. Okay, so yeah, still tiny candles with lots of volume, so it doesn't look as abnormal. Now, Atropa, again, I spoke about these opportunities, so now we're straight into pulse chain value. But even if I go to USD, it looks even more enticing. So it looks like we've got, I mean, I'm not an Elliott wave guy, not a fundamental guy, a technical guy, but we've got a nice little dip here, and I see opportunity. I see opportunity. That's all I see. If I was accumulating, I'd be buying these dips, but I was accumulating on the way down. So I'm not really accumulating on the way up. Not that that's not necessarily part of my strategy, but simply because I feel like I'm quite comfortable with these positions at the minute. So really some good opportunities. Atropa tells exactly the same story as DAI stablecoin. So that's PDAI, formerly known as PDAI. So don't look up PDAI. So again, just again to keep making this clear, because I don't want people to go for the wrong tokens. Do not type PDAI, because this is a token that really is, it's just like a dud token. But interestingly enough, it's been around for quite some time. So obviously it manifested when PDAI first entered into the scene. So some excellent opportunities in general in this ecosystem with Teddy Bear, BFF, Atropa, DAI, so your core coins. So I'm just going to leave it to the core coins today, just covering those core coins because still the opportunities are there. And the excitement, again, for me hasn't died off. The euphoria hasn't hit yet. I'm not seeing the euphoria on Telegram. I'm not seeing like top of the market emotion, and I'm not feeling it yet either. I know when I start to feel it, we're getting there. So I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing it. So all I see is opportunity. So take a look at what's going on in Atropa. If you have been dabbling, if you did buy it, this is a chance to accumulate. And I also learned a very valuable lesson with mini wrapped Bitcoin the other day. So this is part of Sunny's ecosystem. So I would say it's definitely a mistake because it wasn't part of my plan. But I basically sold essentially a top, which is kind of like my plan, but with the hope of it dropping down. And so, well, actually, it is part of my plan. But unfortunately, it ran off. It did it did a 2x. So I'm like, yeah, it did a 2x. So trading, trading it's a tough game. It's a tough game. So I wasn't able to read that right. Probably the better thing to have done is if it did drop to accumulate more. So in that sense, that's what I'm suggesting, that if I had my opportunity to do it again, and if I was looking at PDI and I bought PDI or Atropa at the local top, but now it's come down 20, 30%, instead of, it's dropped, I'd go, well, hang on, I'm going to buy this at the 20, 30% drop. And then if I want to, then once it gets back to this position, then I'll sell out of that original position, or I'll just keep them both. And I've scaled up my position. So that's something that I would look at doing personally. So not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. So anyway, some good opportunities there. Keep your eyes out. See what's going on with BFF. That target of 8K is still going to be there. We're still going to be there, creating that cushion. I haven't actually looked at the liquidity pools. I'm going to have a look at that to see if there has been any new liquidity pools created. But by the looks and the strength of those cells, I would say that we haven't had a lot of liquidity pools being provided. So I'll take a look at that for tomorrow's episode potentially, and also take a look at those drugs. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care.